In this video, I'll be unboxing the Polaroid Lab by Polaroid Originals and also giving you a first impressions review of the first 2 packs of film that I print with it, both color and black and white. Alright, let's get into how you use the Polaroid Lab app to print your Polaroids. One of the first things you'll want to do is select the film type. Then you can choose from various layouts ranging from single all the way to a collage of 9 photos. When you choose a photo, you'll have an opportunity to choose how you want it to crop to a square. So it doesn't already have to be cropped as a square. You can do that within the app. When you're ready, press the arrow button. An important reminder, you'll see that you need to check your phone's display settings and turn off night shift and true tone. You'll see this helpful little tutorial video walking you through the process, and you can choose to never see this again after the first time. But you might want to keep it on for the first few tries. It definitely helps to remind you how to use it. The key thing is to align the circle dots on the Polaroid Lab. You'll definitely want to have the volume on your phone turned up so that you can hear the ding and know when it's placed correctly. When you're ready, press the red button to expose. Keep your photo shielded from light for 10 to 15 minutes while it develops. Okay, so I've had an opportunity to test 2 packs of film, both color and black and white I-type film. 16 complete exposures so you can see how each of them turned out under different circumstances. The first photo I tested is this one of the Golden Gate. This photo was shot on an older iPhone 7 model. You can see how the photo definitely has a lot of blue tones, which was intentionally how I edited it. So it was interesting to see how this one became more purple. Next, I wanted to test a portrait and see how skin tones would turn out. The original photo was shot on an iPhone 11 camera and edited with the VSCO app. If you're intending to print a lot of portraits on your Polaroid Lab, you'll definitely want to take this into consideration, how skin tone colors will definitely change. It becomes a lot more magenta. Next is this photo of the San Francisco Bay Bridge on a rainy day. It was shot with an iPhone 11 Pro camera and edited with VSCO. One thing you'll notice about this photo is the overabundance of white and how that translates onto the Polaroid film. There are no true whites, instead you'll have a color cast, as shown here. This night cityscape of San Francisco was shot on an iPhone 11 Pro camera and edited with VSCO. This one definitely had a lot of color changes from the original, and there was also a lot of underexposed areas which just became completely black in the Polaroid. This was shot with an iPhone 7 and edited with VSCO. You can definitely see how the Polaroid film skews more towards the magenta tones. You'll notice how much the blue tones in the original shift in the Polaroid version. This was shot with the iPhone 7 camera and edited with the Hujicam app to create the light leak you'll see on the left, and then edited with the VSCO app. I was super curious to see how this one would turn out as a Polaroid, and definitely can say how happy I am with how it turned out. Another photo of the Golden Gate, my favorite subject of all, shot on an iPhone 7 camera and edited with VSCO to accentuate the blue tones that were already existing. Now this is one of the first photos I tested that I shot from a DSLR camera. Something that's super hard to achieve on a Polaroid are long exposures. So this is one I was really excited to see how it would turn out. Again, you'll notice how the colors change quite a bit and those darker areas become pretty much black in the Polaroid version. So those were the first 8 color photos I tested on the Polaroid Lab. I tried to test out a few different scenarios to see how it would hold up. I'm curious to know, what are your thoughts, and do you have a favorite? Let me know by leaving a comment below. Up next is the black I-type film. First up is this photo of the San Francisco Bay Bridge shot on a rainy day through a car window. I used an iPhone 11 Pro camera and edited it to be black and white in VSCO. And you'll notice the pattern that you really need to watch out for those underexposed areas because they become black in the Polaroid version. This was shot on an iPhone 7 camera and edited with both the Hujicam app to create the light leak on the left and then edited in VSCO to become black and white. I'm super happy with how this one came out. I love that vintage feel in the original photo and then how that translates into the Polaroid version. This San Francisco cable car photo was shot on an iPhone 7 and edited with VSCO. The top right corner is a little overexposed, but I'm honestly not really bothered by it. I'm really loving how this black and white film is turning out. This photo of Niagara Falls from the Canadian side was shot with the iPhone 11 Pro camera and edited with VSCO. You'll notice this tiny imperfection on the top right-hand corner of the Polaroid, and I really don't know how to prevent this from happening. I think it's just something that's already within the film because you'll see it happening to a couple of other photos as we go. So of course I had to try one of those picture-in-picture type photos. This is a photo of the London Tower Bridge, shot with the iPhone 7 and edited with VSCO. This was an interesting test. I wanted to see how a color photo would turn out on black and white film. For example, is it always necessary to edit your photos as black and white before printing on black and white film? Actually, you don't have to. The Polaroid Lab app will give you a little preview of what it will look like before you print it. I decided to test the same long exposure of the Golden Gate as a black and white photo. Again, a test to see how the Polaroid app would transform a color photo into black and white without me doing it myself. Here's a side-by-side comparison of the color and black and white versions. And that streak on the top of the color photo is just a reflection from the lighting. It's not something that happened to the Polaroid. And the last black and white test. This is another DSLR photo and edited in Lightroom. This one also turned out a little overexposed, but again, I really don't mind that, especially in the black and white film. So there you have it, 16 different test exposures with the Polaroid Lab, 8 in color and 8 in black and white. I hope this review helped you learn a little bit more about how your photos will transform into Polaroids. Leave a comment and let me know, what did you think? Which were your favorite? Do you prefer the color or the black and white film? Or if you're curious for me to test out other ideas in the future, leave a comment and let me know. And don't forget to subscribe for more Polaroid videos in the future.